Good evening and welcome to the October 24th, 2023 meeting of the ARPA Committee. We do have a quorum present, and do we have any minutes to approve? We have no minutes to approve from the last meeting. So basically, this meeting is kind of just kind of get us back on track of going forward with the stuff that we have left. I mean, most of the things, as you saw on the spreadsheet that I sent out, if you had time to see it, we've completed. Look at that, Melanie, spreadsheet. So we have still pending the school signs on page 1. Kay's trucking and the turf installation, which is going to be a drainage project, on page 2. And the purchase of land at the end of Robin Street on page 3 are the only ones that we haven't acted on. So those would be open for action in our coming meetings. We could take them up here, but I don't think we really... The land at the end of Robin Street is open. There's been no activity that I know of on that whole thing. We know we're waiting for a new request from the school on the drainage project, Kay's trucking. Have you heard anything back on that?
I can update you a little bit on that. So last, Melanie had requested a whole bunch of information. She asked for tax returns, income statements, balance sheets, trial balance, cash flow, reconciliations of credit card statements, year-end balance sheets, reconciliation of bank statements to the year-end balance sheets. What we received was a partial bank statement, Bank of America, from October to November. I don't know why not the whole year. We asked for 2019, 20, 22, 23. 19 being probably just to kind of see if this was a result of income or sales were down because of COVID. Well, 19 should show that to 20 to 21.
Right.
And so on. So what we did receive was trial balance for 2022. I have a balance sheet for 2022, profit and loss for 2022. Tax returns would be very important and tell us a good story. So we haven't received any of those. I'm guessing they should have those. They have to be filed by now.
Right.
October 15th would have been the deadline, or they're a corp, September 15th. So I don't know. We're still looking for information. Do I want to go back and ask for the tax return now?
What do you think?
I honestly think that this is, as we've known, this is going to be a tough one to get all this information. We're getting bits and pieces. I guess, you know, I don't really know where to go from here.
I mean, I look at it, it's got to be at least 10 months has been going on. It's probably from the February
From
timeframe.
first request,
Yep.
correct.
You know, and it could be off by a month or two there. And I know, well, I shouldn't say no, but I'm sure that you and Melanie have been after them with multiple requests, as you said.
Several
right?
requests, emails going back and forth.
So, I mean, if they can't paint the picture in this amount of time, it's not going to get any easier to paint, because the further forward we go, the older the other stuff gets, and the less chances that it's going to be available, I would think. I mean, I'm not an accountant or anything like that, but...
They incorporated end of 2021. COVID was March of 2020. So it's just tough. It's so basically what they said was he was a W-2 employee prior to that point.
Right.
And then incorporated end of 2021 2022, they're trying to give us books. But, you know, if we're trying to look at if sales went down, we need 2 years. We need a couple of years to
Right.
look and compare. So I think we still need more information. If we want to make another request, we need a tax return that truly tells a good story. They won't have 2021, so they'll only have 2022. So do we vote? Do we?
They won't have 2021s, but they'd have 2022?
It's 2021, remember, they incorporated end of 2021. I think she said like December. So they're gonna just have individual tax returns, not a, you know, a corporate
Right.
company.
So even just as a, like if Ken and I were working together, we were the Ken and John company, I mean, there would be no profit and loss for that Ken and John company?
Well, I was just gonna say, we could ask for Schedule C, if they had a business,
Right.
we could ask for the business piece of their tax return.
See, what I was thinking from early on was, well, 2019, if they started there, right, whatever their profits were for that year, might not have been a good indicator anyway, because it was their first year in business. But it sounds like even that doesn't even matter, because all they have is what I turn in for tax returns, you know, W-2s, like you say. I mean,
Must have had a Schedule C if there was a business.
Ken, what do you think?
I just think that we don't have enough information to make a good
Make a
decision,
good decision, agreed.
you know, more than anything else. I mean, if they started in 2019, you know, they weren't incorporated, but 2020 was a messed up year for everybody. So it's hard to judge whether they lost money or they just, you know, just went with the way, I mean, COVID did a number and everything, and then 2021, where are they? And then you still don't have 2022. So I don't think we have enough information.
Right.
I personally, if one of my kids were asking me for $20, I'd want more information than they've been able to give us. You know,
Nadia?
I think we need more information, and I think, like she said previously, is that it's gonna be a tough one to
Right.
entertain, even proceed if they're given ample time that we've given them for that information, we still haven't received them. I don't know. I don't think we should even put more time into it. That's my position.
you know, I think to your point too, if they weren't incorporated before, they still have something to show. And we should get that.
Right, that's, like you said, the Schedule C.
Schedule C if it was a business. And then I think there was, you know, when they presented it to us, the issue was a big credit card. But, you know, again, we need to see, was the credit card there before? That's the stuff we're going after. Was that there before COVID? Or, you know, we're trying to compare the years and like what happened and tell the story. And we just can't seem to get enough. I see debt, I mean, I see the debt on the trial balance and balance sheet, but where'd it come from? What's in it? What created it?
Right,
You know?
right.
And at the end of the day, my sense is the official thing is gonna be your tax return, right?
That tells the true story.
So. Should we move on? Is there,
Do
does
you
somebody
get
wanna
an
make a motion?
Opportunity to provide more information, or do we want to?
Do we ask them back? To say to come back and,
My sense was, and I could be wrong on this, is they were gonna give us a lot of information that we would be able to analyze and then develop questions to bring them back and ask those questions. I mean, I don't know if anyone's looked at it a different way, but that's kind of the way I remembered
and
it.
if you recall, when they came in, they provided us information, if I remember correctly, they provided Melanie with information prior to when they came in. And then we asked them to come in. And remember, we all had different numbers
Right.
than what they were, because we were like, where are you getting that number from? You know, so we asked them to correct that, the books. So I think they're trying, you know, and I think, you know, there's some QuickBooks issues too, of trying to put their books together. So again, it's not gonna be an easy road. Even if this got approved, remember, you have to go back and there's work afterwards. And I just think it would be very, very difficult for them.
I mean, to me, it's, I mean, you have to have a tax return. I mean, not that we have to have, somebody in a business should be filing a tax return. If I say, well, in order for you to get this $100,000, whatever the number might be, we need to see a tax return, that they would be producing a tax return.
Should I send out one more email and just say that we need this information, give it a certain date, 2 weeks or something like that, and just say, you know, we have to make a final determination on this?
Can I ask you to, sorry, just check with Melanie first? Because she may have received something recently.
Yep,
I mean, because we have
will
been
do.
on a
Good
bit of a
point.
sabbatical.
I was gonna say, I remember with COVID, when I had going through being a small business owner myself, they just required your Schedule C. So, in regards, I'm not sure what the criteria would be, but like you said, every business should have a tax return, and especially with a Schedule C. But maybe just pose those questions directly, CCing Melanie or emailing Melanie and CCing them, and posing those questions to say, are we gonna be able to get these documentation? These documentation are necessary in order to proceed. We have given you ample time, and if we wanna be considered, put it back on the table again, when we meet again, we would need those. And if it's not, then we should definitely let them know that we are not gonna be considering them moving forward. That way, it gives them a little fire.
Yep,
Do they have an accountant, or do they do their own books?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that complicates matters.
I think that's part of the problem, because when Melanie first asked for information, she came back, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She came back and said, what is this, and what is this, and what is this? And then Melanie asked me to step in, so I stepped in and just said, you know, can you print this, and, you know, you should be able to get this from your QuickBooks, you know, whatever. So I think they're trying, but you're right, like having an accountant. And, you know, maybe that's the point we're at, you know, you gotta get some help to get us the information that we need.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes, right, for us to make a good decision, if we wanna be fair on both sides, right?
Right, we gotta be fair to them, fair to the town, and fair to other people that are looking for the money.
Right.
Right.
Delilah is her name, Delilah.
All right, so we'll,
I'll check with
Follow up.
Melanie.
hold off
Yep.
till next
Do
meeting.
you have a list of what you're asking for? You've asked for a P and L and a balance sheet.
I just
and
have the emails,
what?
the emails
Yeah.
of what.
That's what I mean. I mean, just so basically, you're clear with asking her for certain things.
Yep, tax
Yeah,
return,
yeah.
this was
Which I
dated
think you would be.
4/12, tax returns,
Yeah.
income statements, balance sheets, trial balance, cash flow, reconciliation of credit cards, reconciliation of bank statements, yeah.
Okay,
We're
that's pretty
covered.
thorough.
That's pretty intensive, but
Yeah,
I'd say
yeah.
in regards to, like, maybe they don't have maybe they're not as efficiently run as most
Yeah.
businesses do.
Which
But
is a small business, I totally get that.
But a
That's-
Schedule C that's something that every small business
You need it.
should have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, two other ones that are kind of up in the air is the Mitchell and Central School signs. So we've not made any decisions, we're kind of waiting for updated quotes and see what happens with them. We approved the town hall sign at the last June meeting, June 20th. And then the fourth one we're missing is, again, the turf installation, which is now a drainage project. Just to write that in so I know it.
So, wasn't they asking for a new turf?
The school was asking for $1 million to put in
New turf?
AstroTurf. Then it was pointed out that in order to put the AstroTurf on, if you didn't do the drainage, everything's just gonna go to pot
It's
anyway.
in really dire,
Yeah.
bad condition right now, the
So-
turf right now at the high school.
But I talked to John Haynes in June, and they're looking at what it needs to be done for the drainage. Gonna scope it out, and,
Yeah,
I mean, they wouldn't have done it in the summertime anyway, I don't
Right.
think, even though it is a school thing,
school
but
thing, yeah.
but just the weather I mean, fall is
It's
the
been-
time, or the winter, or the fall. So other than that, everything else, I mean, if anyone have any questions, all the other ones that are approved or not approved?
So would we need to reach out to John on those action item for the school signs?
John Shea?
John Shea and the drainage for the turf? I
Yep.
think that'd be good, that way we can have the
Well-
numbers, if any new updated numbers.
And Brian Carley needs to be involved in the sign one too,
Yeah.
good point, thank you. Anything else anyone wants to?
Yeah, I have a question, John, on the pavilion, because we voted to recommend that, but there was really a vague number. I don't think anybody really knew what they were doing on it, the COA pavilion. It
You mean
started
number as
with-
far as the cost?
And they also had to do something with ADA compliance, correct?
Yeah, there were a lot of questions. We felt it was a good thing to do, but it was just kind of like they needed to do a feasibility study, or they needed to do a schematic. I forget exactly how it was put, but, that one, it almost seemed like we were just kind of,
Throwing a number out there?
yeah, there's $625,000, I think is what they originally asked for, and
That's not even
Yeah.
including a bathroom or
Yeah, that-
electricity, I believe.
there's all sorts of, a roof, I think, wasn't it? A retractable roof? No, it was, there was just a lot. I think all of us felt that it was a great idea and it had to be done, but it just needed some fine tuning, and we expected that to come after the board sent it along, so.
So where that is now, and we'll pass this out around, but on that, it was approved by us. So that means we recommended it to the select board. I don't know why that column doesn't get filled in, but they haven't taken any action on it,
Nothing,
so.
there's no more specifics.
The price wise, I mean, we pretty much, when we approved them, except for in a few cases, whatever it was put in for is really what we approved for. I mean, we have less money requested than we have available. But the thing is, and the problem is, right now, that I see, is it's gonna be another year or so before anything really happens, because we've sent 3 requests from here to the Plymouth County, they've approved none. Right, and I don't know how many other communities they're doing this with, if that's slowing them down or anything like that. Oh,
I think you're in the wrong place. I think it's downstairs.
Okay, nothing seems to be going on. Do you know which room?
Probably downstairs next to the first floor, when if you go to be on your left-hand side.
On your left when you come in?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Because there's also another room down here too.
He said it might be upstairs.
well, if you go
Did you-
still past the stairs, and just past the stairs, there's a planning board room there. If-
Thank you.
You'll see right away if there's somebody in there or not, it will be dark or light.
Okay,
If not, I'd go downstairs and try the selectmen's room.
okay, thank you.
You're
Right.
welcome.
I think it's probably
Down
up
there.
here.
Yeah.
No, up here.
No, like
Because-
down the hallway.
Oh, down there, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I reserved this for this, they said, well, you have to go upstairs.
So that's where it is, yeah.
Yeah. But going back to this is, so all that, it's out there a lot of time. And like,
Plymouth County approved something in the
Correct.
beginning.
so
There was
the-
something already done.
Yeah, the ambulance.
So
ambulance.
the body cams for the
Nothing else?
police,
Yeah, the body cams.
the sewer project,
Yep,
the ambulance,
I knew that, yeah.
and
That was all Plymouth County.
social emotional salaries, that $600,000 one was approved by Plymouth County. And the one not yet approved was the Church Street renovations, which was the courts that we were just talking about. But that was submitted to them. Permitting software has been approved as revenue loss. And that's it. Well, the body cams weren't non-revenue, they were revenue loss too. So if you wanna take a
Yeah,
look at this
take a
whole
look.
thing, it's just a spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah, church.
It is kind of
Okay,
not clear of
it's not bad.
how the monies get knocked down, but I imagine when it goes out to bidding process, that's when it'll happen. And I think it'd be up to the Board of Selectmen to deal with something, so say we approve something for the $600,000, and a year later it goes out for bidding, and it's $650,000, because prices have gone up, is one example. They'd have to figure out what they wanted to do. And vice versa, if it comes out as $550,000, it's $50,000 more in the kitty to be used for other stuff. You guys wanna take a look at this? The spreadsheet and the other at the bottom of it, actually. I will send that out, or I will ask Melanie to send it out tomorrow, 'cause she may have updated it. And the only other thing I really wanted to talk about tomorrow is for Monday night. You know, I think we're just gonna be guests there like everybody else. I think that the Board of Selectmen and Town Administrator will be taking the brunt of the question. If we have people there, we can kind of provide input to if there are questions. Key among them being Melanie Dean. So I think anyone that wants to can attend, anyone that doesn't want it doesn't have to, but it has been posted as a meeting in case that four or more show up.
And it's at 5 o'clock, too. It's prior to the
5 o'clock, yeah.
selectmen's meeting.
Be there, plan on being there.
Anyone have anything else?
Just to go back to that Kay's trucking, you know, where we haven't gotten information, there's a somewhat of a parallel with the request for the pickup truck. We asked for them to quantify, you know, how many miles they've used and what they would be using, and they couldn't do that, so we rejected it, you know, so, I mean, there's a bit of a
Precedent.
parallel there, although you feel like we haven't had anything other than them, K's,
Right.
as a small business applying for anything, so it's almost like we're looking for a reason to be able to help them out.
I mean, I think I am, to be honest with you. I mean, my son's a small business guy, and so I have some sympathy for what they go through, and, you know, trying to give them every chance they can. And if we can, we can. If we can't,
And they do respond, you know?
Mm.
But just we're not getting what we need.
And that's important.
Right.
Hmm.
I haven't worked in a long time, but I remember when I was working and people didn't respond after a while. It was like,
Yeah, no, I was in small business for 40-something years, you know, and if you were asked, especially by the government, you know, you responded,
right.
you know.
Well, I guess take a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in
Made,
favor?
second.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.